All right, welcome everyone. Welcome on this beautiful May 11th, 2024 edition of the Brazuka F1 E-Racing League. My name is Sterling C. Beard. I'll be your commentator for this afternoon. Today we have a relatively long race, 50 plus laps with a one-shot qualifier. So we'll have a quick qualifier and then get right into the action. Stay tuned. All right, now keep in mind, because this is a one-shot qualifier, what we have going on here is all of the racers technically racing at once. They're all in their own instance of the track. This is done to speed up the qualifying so that we can get our grid set that is the starting lineup set for the actual race. So everybody here, as you'd expect, using soft tires as they work to... There goes the full track map there. As they work to set the fastest possible time on this one-shot qualifier. They've only got one lap to get their best time in. So as we see here, Soldier One Assault flying down the stretch here, heading into Section 2. The Monza track is a little bit different than some of the other tracks we've been covering recently. There's not a ton of tight turns here. You've got basically two tight turns that are really kind of chicanes in Section 1 and the beginning of Section 2. You have kind of a looping turn as we see Soldier One Assault push through it. Then you've got massive straightaways back-to-back with a long winding turn, kind of the dog-legging around. So we'll have momentarily our results here as we see Soldier One Assault again in the gender reveal special, flying through and passing the finish line. Pedro Proenza in first with a 1:19.658. All right, so that will tell us our grid position. Pedro Proenza is going to be first place, or starting with pole position. Now, usually the races here we go. So Pedro Proenza for Team Red Bull in first with a 1:19.658. Lucas Sick at 19 in second with a 1:19.718. F1 RK44, whose name reminds me of a Gundam designation, at 1:19.891. Africa do Sul, 1:21.88. Dreamer 1609 in fifth with a 1:22.82. Then we have Eska 0606, Yestin Takifani, Soldier One Assault in eighth. CWB Mareshi, I believe it's the first time we've had the pleasure of watching him race on stream, in ninth. Johnny's Bananas out of Panama, 10th. Eufapio, 11th from Spain. Tahariel, 12th. 13th, Joni Happy. And 14th, Sergio 1906 Lucas. All right, here we go. So as I said earlier, today's event going to be close to an hour thereabouts, projected finishing time, given that the laps are taking a little over a minute. So we'll probably see close to an hour and 15 minutes of racing time today. Again, 50 laps. Given the clear weather today, I would not expect to see, and of course, the way this typically happens is the game takes long enough to load that it snaps in, and we almost always miss the start of the race despite having gigabit internet. Just the game does not want to load me in to watch very easily. But we should have a good, clean race today. I would not expect too much. Typically with the racers of the Brazuka E1 Grid Bravo, which is what we are watching, typically very good, clean racers when it comes to, I guess we are in Grid Omega today. I think they may have changed the name on me. Typically on a nice, clear day like this, very clean races for the most part, not a ton of collisions. We do see some occasionally, but of course those also happen in real life. So we'll see. Here we do. We do get the starting lineup today. Here we go. All right, you can see everyone phase in here. I'll go ahead and get my menu set up. First of all, we're going to go with the interval gap with the tire detail, full telemetry, full lap data, full track map, and we already have a caution out as we saw one competitor fly kind of across the corner there. We can see up front it's Lucas Sick 19, followed by Pedro Proenza, right behind him, less than 1/10 of a second or so away. Apricado Sul in third, Dreamer 1609 fourth, F1 RK 44 fifth, Eska 0606 moving up now, passing F1 RK, moving up to fifth. Battling with CWB Mareshi, Yestim Takifaini. I believe that Eska might have suffered some sort of catastrophe or maybe spun out briefly. I saw him drop a number of slots there. Possible race strategies today powered by AWS. One stop moving from soft to medium or medium to hard around laps 27 to 34. So we do have a penalty flag out now on Johnny's Bananas out in 13th place. Not sure what that was about. And of course, given that this game has a habit of locking up on me if I go into the race director, we're not going to be checking that out. So unless I catch it, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to tell what's going on. So again, up near the front, Lucas Sick, about 0.3 of a second ahead of Pedro Proenza, coming into the home stretch of lap 1. Lucas Sick, fastest time today, 1:25.844. Right behind him, making a move on the outside, on the right-hand side, is going to be Pedro Proenza, passing, battling for first place. Both competitors neck and neck, bumping and jostling as they head around. Whoa, my goodness. All right, Lucas Sick drops to second there. I think somebody went translucent for a moment. Not sure exactly what caused that. Maybe a connection issue on my end, because both racers now kind of flying around and appear to be right on top of each other, in fact. So there may be a slight syncing issue. But we have Lucas Sick still up front. Pedro Proenza literally less than 0.2 of a second or so behind. Now falling slightly further behind, 0.3 of a second. In third, Africado Sul in working to stay in range of both of those racers. Dreamer 1609 in fourth, F1 RK 44 in fifth, CWB Mareshi sixth, Eufapio seventh, Eska 0606 in eighth, Tahariel 70 at ninth, Sergio 1906, Lucas 10th, Soldier with Assault in the Gender Reveal Special 11th, 12th, Johnny's Bananas, 13th, Joni Happy 94, and 14th, Yestim Takifaini. So we can see here as we look at the bottom right corner of the screen to check out the full map. Pack starting to separate out. You've got a decent gap here. Fastest lap again, Lucas Sick now with a 1:23.789 time to beat for fastest time today. We do see our pack kind of separating into 2 or 3 distinct groups. We see, first of all, of course, the leaders. Then we have about a 4.2 second gap where it drops to 4th place, where F1 RK 44 just overtook Dreamer 1609. We've got some action going on down here. Eska 0606 Eufapio overtaking CWB Mareshi. We're seeing some jostling here. We've got the virtual safety car out already, lap 3. We do have some kind of issue here on the course. Not exactly sure what's causing it. Again, hesitant to go into the race director to find out the details, but the virtual safety car is out on lap 3 out of 53. So me and my big mouth, folks, we may actually be in for a relatively long day today, depending on how things do shake out. Of course, we will see the pack compress with the virtual safety car out as the racers will get closer and closer to each other without necessarily passing. Although I say necessarily passing, we've got Eska 0606 here pushing Tahariel actually on the on his right hand, on Tahariel's left-hand side, as we come around the midpoint of, or excuse me, the starting point of Sector 3. Competitors swinging wide on that turn, but as we look back up towards the front of the pack, we see Lucas Sick, 19, still in the catbird seat up front. Followed shortly behind by Pedro Proenza, Africado Sul, who's moved up into third. Gundam RK44 has fallen to fourth. Let's look at our tire selection today as we see Joni Happy overtake CWB Mareshi. Race control DRS now enabled. The virtual safety car is gone, and we are back on, folks. But let's take a look at our tires here real quick. Lucas Sick and Pedro Proenza, first and second place respectively, as we do already have a caution flag out in Sector 1. Looks like it's on Johnny's Bananas. But we do have CWB Mareshi already choosing to pit, switching, it appears, to hard tires. Interesting choice here so early in the race, apparently not liking the way his tires were feeling earlier. Yestim Takifaini maybe having an opportunity to catch up a little bit, closing that gap between him and Mareshi down from 20 plus down to about 3 seconds. Of course, Lucas Sick now being overtaken by Pedro Proenza on the inside on that turn in Sector My goodness, in Sector 3. So, here we go. Very tight battle up front between Pedro Proenza and Lucas Sick. Africado Sul also in the mix. These racers jerking around my screen a little bit here. I suspect that's just lag. Whipping around the corner, heading towards the finish line as we enter lap 5. Well, here we go, folks. So let's look at these tires as I was talking about earlier. Pedro Proenza falling to second. Lucas Sick battling in on Proenza's left side. Proenza goes left, get in position for the turn, also trying to cut off Africado Sul. Dreamer overtakes RK44, but looking at the tires here, Lucas Sick in first and Pedro Proenza in second, both using soft tires. Again, the grippiest tires, the tires that are going to give you the least amount of, well, let's say endurance on the track here when it comes to these things, but will give you the best handling, the best speed. Gundam overtakes Dreamer 1609, again moving into fourth. Most of the rest of the field kind of balanced between hard and medium and soft. Fastest lap now, Yestin Takifaini with a 1:23.759 for Aston Martin. So Yestin, interestingly, in 14th, of course, that far back, he's got some space. It looks like he's going to challenge here, trying to overtake CWB Mareshi, but a good time there for Yestin Takifaini, trying to gain some time back. Still way far back at the pack. He's about 26 seconds behind 12th place Sergio 1906 Lucas. However, we can see, as I was saying, Africado Sul, F1 RK44 in fourth, Dreamer 1609. We've got some action going on here in the 7th, 8th, and 9th spots. As we can kind of make out what's happening there, we see Sergio Lucas falling to 11th, it looks like. The safety car is out. Sergio Lucas maybe having some sort of trouble. Eufapio passing him relatively easily on the left-hand side. Race control, Joni Happy, 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. So Joni Happy going to be penalized here. So is Yestin. And we've got Johnny's Bananas with a penalty. And we've got chaos on the track here, folks. People are pitting. We've got Africado Sul pitting, going to hard tires. Eska 0606 pitting, going to medium tires. Oh my goodness, the whole bottom of the order is shifting around rapidly here as we track Eska 0606. We can see he's got some space to catch up. He was momentarily translucent. Let's bump back up closer to the top of the pack here, middle of the pack, excuse me. Tahariel, 75 laps in on his hard tires, about 1.8 seconds behind. Soldier 1 Assault's Gender Reveal Special, pushing him, trying to catch up. Of course, Tahariel driving that sort of Jacksonville Jaguars-looking car, that blue-green paint job that looks so nifty, kind of almost not emerald-like. It's not deep enough to be an emerald, but seafoam green, let's say. The seafoam green speedster is Tahariel 70 today. So the safety car is out. Pedro Proenza and Lucas Sick 19 continuing to trade first place back and forth. So neither of those racers really giving each other any edge. We've got Johnny's Bananas here in fifth, about 9 seconds behind Dreamer 1609 with a clear straightaway in front of him. The other racers, of course, just coming around out of that turn. Corner taken nicely there by Johnny's Bananas. So Pedro Proenza and Lucas Sick out front, 0.4 seconds behind each other. Johnny's Bananas now going into pit. 5 laps in on his soft tires, dropping to 7th place, probably going to continue to drop as we have a, I did see something up top of the screen that indicated there was a penalty. Drive-through penalty, speeding under the safety car. Yestin Takifaini getting a penalty there, back in 14th place. So kind of a wild afternoon. We see the safety cars out again here on lap 7 out of 53. So we're just about a fifth of the way done with the race, just under a fifth of the way done. And we've already seen the safety car out twice in 7 laps. All right, well, Johnny's Bananas having to work to make sure that he's not passed on his left here by Eska 0606, his fellow teammate. Oh, no, excuse me, not fellow teammate, pardon me. That's CWB Mareshi behind Johnny's Bananas. Eska 0606 is in front of Johnny's Bananas. I stand corrected. So we'll go ahead and check out the top of the pack here. Again, Pedro Proenza staying right in the tailpipe of the CrowdStrike safety car. Not too far behind him, Lucas Sick there in blue, followed by RK44 and Dreamer 1609. So you can see that. And then Soldier What a Solid, the gender reveal special, currently in 5th. Largest gap right now between 8th place Joni Happy 94 and Eska 0606. That's 18 seconds. Followed by, the second largest gap. The largest gap currently, Yestim trailing Eufapio in 14th and 13th place respectively by 20.2 seconds. So the pack kind of spread out to 3 separate groups, generally speaking. But again, the top of the pack here, where you'd expect to see most of the action, just given how everyone has gotten kind of compressed behind the safety car. Safety car is going to continue to be out for a little while here as we head into the chicanes. Race control, Joni Happy, 5-second penalty, severe collision with Africado Sul. Let's go ahead and check out what had just happened here. Africado Sul mercifully appears to be unaffected. Joni Happy also doesn't seem to be hurting too much, but it did say severe collision. So we'll see if anything comes of that. Hopefully the racers will be able to finish today and we do not have any catastrophic damage take hold. Safety car still out here on lap 8. So we're going to be here for a little while, folks. The pack is going to continue to compress. I would not at all be surprised to see everybody get to the point where they are well within a striking distance of their next competitor further up the pack. And here we go. We can see everybody at this point. Nobody through the first 13 slots is more than about 1.1 seconds behind their nearest competitor. And here we go. Safety car still in for the time being. Pedro Parenza having to shift down repeatedly just to stay behind the safety car. You can tell he really wants to cut loose, try to ensure that he can fly as soon as the safety car disappears. But right now the safety car stubbornly, and you can see Pedro moving and weaving across the raceway, warming the tires back up a little bit after that much time behind the safety car on lap 9 out of 53 here. Maybe Pedro a little bit concerned that the tires have cooled down. Whoa, mama, almost smacked right into the safety car there. So Pedro chomping at the bit to really cut loose here. But of course we have to wait for the safety car to exit before things can really kick off again. So we'll see how this ends up shaking out here. Lap 9 out of 53, just under a fifth of the way done. And we are, I apologize, I didn't take note of what time we actually started this race. So I'm not sure how much time we've been in the race at this point, but it has been relatively eventful, actually. We've seen a lot of position changes, especially towards the middle of the pack today. 5th through about 10th seem to be just really up for grabs at any given moment in time. Of course, the way the league has normally shaken out, here we go. Safety car getting out of the way, and we are back into it. Lots of racers, of course, weaving, warming their tires back up, trying to ensure that they get the best possible grip. And we can see everybody kind of doing this snake-like dance, which looks a little less organic given lag. But it is kind of this happy dance. It almost looks like a meme. Not exactly the badger, mushroom level memes, but we do see Lucas Sick again pushing Pedro Parenza very hard. And here we go, overtake in for Pedro Parenza as we head through the finish line and begin lap 10. Lucas Sick making a move on the left-hand side. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to overtake before the turn. He does not. But we do see Africado Sul overtake Tario. Race control, CWB Mareshi, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But we do see some wild stuff going on back here at the back of the pack, as we see Yestim Takifaini drop to 12th. Eska 0606 in 11th. Johnny's Bananas. Yestim also battling here with Eska 0606 on his left-hand side. These two fierce competitors. Eska overtakes on the inside, almost corner cuts. And then we see Eska moving up past Johnny's Bananas. Johnny's Bananas driving the Mario Brothers car. CWB Mareshi flying around the corner. We saw somebody kind of, we got a bit of bumping going on here between, it looked like Eska 0606 and Yestim. Yestim mildly off course there, getting back on track now. So we're seeing a lot of stuff happening very, very quickly here. As we jump back up towards the front of the pack, we see Pedro still leading, Lucas 6 second, RK44 third, Dreamer 1609 fourth, Soldier 1 Assault 5th, Africado Sul 6th, CWB Mareshi 7th, Sergio 1906 8th, Johnny's Bananas 9th, Eska 0606 10th, Joni Happy 94 11th, Yestim in 12th, Eufapio in 13th, and Tahariel in 14th. But again, this pack condensed down pretty hard right now as Johnny Bananas overtakes Sergio Lucas, surges to 8th place. Eska 0606 looking to make a move, overtakes Johnny's Bananas on the inside, or right-hand side it looked like. So some competition going on towards the back of the pack right now. We do see some penalty flags out already for CWB Mareshi, Johnny's Bananas, and Joni Happy. As Yestim decides to pit, we'll see if he's currently on soft tires. We'll see if he switches to medium or hard tires here. It looks like most folks have not pitted that much. Pedro Proenza, we're on lap 11. Pedro Proenza still rocking the soft tires. Lucas also doing the same. More cautions out in Sector 2. Eufapio moves up to 10th in front of Sergio 1906 Lucas. So at the front of the pack, we don't see too much going on just in terms of lead changes, but Eska 0606, who's been very active today, overtaking CWB Mareshi, attempting to make this as interesting as he can, driving here in 7th place. I do appreciate the details of the little camera shake. Pedro Proenza had the fastest lap by about 1 millisecond. Lucas Sick overtook it with a 1:23, I think 6:91 if I read that number correctly. So interesting to see that, but Pedro Proenza briefly had for a split second the fastest lap of the day before Lucas immediately took it away. So Lucas currently holds the fastest lap despite being in second place and despite setting it while in second place, which is something I haven't seen happen before. Now granted, I have been broadcasting for the Brazuka F1 e-Racing League now for just a couple of weeks, so there's a lot that I have not seen, especially as somebody who's not overly familiar with motorsports. But we do see Gundam RK44 overtake here, moving into second place ahead of Lucas Sick. Gundam driving the Angry Orange, it looks like, or the Orange Crush perhaps, a more fitting appellation, as he starts to chase down Pedro Proenza. Pedro, however, trying to put some distance as we head into the chicanes at the beginning of Sector 3. So here we go. Here's the straightaway. Competitors swinging wide for the most part there into that straightaway as we fly through. All right, well, it appears that the pack is much tighter after that last safety car here, as you'd expect. Only about a 1.3 second difference between what is now Lucas Sick and Pedro Proenza. Lucas just overtook on the right-hand side, RK44. We don't have more than a second difference until down in 7th place, where Eska 0606 trails Africado Sul by 3.8 seconds. Then we see a little more variance past that point, but up in the top 5 places or so, 6 places I should say, very tight pack so far. No bigger than a 1.5 second difference between any of the competitors in the top 6 at the moment. And as we enter lap 13 out of 53, 40 laps to go, I will go ahead and take a momentary pause to use the facilities. I will be right back. All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as we see RK44 moving up to first place just to be replaced by Pedro Proenza, and then Dreamer 1609 making his move. So RK44 piloting the Orange Crush had first place, dropped it to the other two fellows who overtook him on his right-hand side, I believe it was. Lucas 6 stubbornly clinging to the top 5 in 4th place. Africato Sul in 5th. Soldier One Assault in the gender reveal special. Johnny's Bananas corner cutting penalty, another 5-second penalty before that, I believe. We see Lucas Sick overtake RK44 now, moving into 3rd place. 15 laps now on a 53-lap race for Pedro Proenza, Dreamer 1609, Lucas Sick, and F1 RK44. Fastest lap, Yeston Takifaini with 1:23, set despite being in 12th place at the moment. So we can see here, most of the racers over 10 laps at this point with their current set of tires. The exceptions being Johnny's Bananas, hard tires, 9 laps in, and Joni Happy running, oh, no, disaster for RK44, who spins out and has to get back in position, driving the Orange Crush, falls all the way to 7th as CWB Mareshi passes him on the right side. So does Johnny's Bananas. RK44 in a tough position now, going transparent. All right, and here we go, folks. Back up towards the top of the pack. Africato Sul, Soldier One Assault, Eska 0606. Moving up, Eska 0606 passes Soldier One Assault. Moving up here. All right, so the pack has spread out a bit. We're now on lap 17 out of 53. Lucas Sick pitting, switching to medium tires. RK44, 15 laps in, 16 laps in on his medium tires. He's pitting as well, so we'll see what RK44 goes with here. Switches to hard tires, so maybe not looking to pit again for the rest of the race, or at least for a good long while. We got 53 laps, we're 17 laps in, so almost 33 laps left, so we are, 30, trying to do math in my head, 39 laps left, I believe. No, that's not even close to right. Jeez, what is my math right now? 53 minus 17, 36 laps left, I was close. We do have penalty flags out all over the pack. Africato Sul in 3rd, Mareshi in 6th. 7th as Johnny's Bananas overtakes. Johnny's Bananas, however, also with a penalty flag. And Sergio 1906 in 8th with a penalty flag. As we watch Johnny's Bananas here, Africato Sul overtaking Pedro Proenza, Eska 0606 overtaking Pedro Proenza. So Pedro Proenza struggling a little bit here to stick up near the top of the pack, and it looks like that's going to be it for Pedro Proenza. He's going to go ahead and pit at this point. He has soft tires on, one of the few competitors still with soft tires. We'll see what Pedro decides to pit and switch to. As we see the pit go through, pit complete. Pedro switching to more soft tires. Interesting strategy here from Pedro, not looking to go harder, but he has fallen to 10th place. Maybe he feels he can overtake some folks, trying to time his switch so that when everybody else is forced to pit, as they are everybody ahead of him, the exception of Lucas Sick, is over 11 laps on their current sets of tires. Joni Happy, another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Joni Happy back in 14th. However, we have 4 penalty flags out today, right now, including in 2nd place Africato Sul, who is 12 laps in with hard tires. So I'm going to be very curious to see if Pedro Proenza, driving on a fresh set of soft tires, is going to be able to time this in such a way that everybody else switching to more medium tires or hard tires again is going to get passed up. I don't know if that's going to work. He's fallen back to 10th place, but that may be his strategy. Switch to the soft tires, make up that gap for when people do pit, and try to pass as many people as possible, assuming that they do pit as kind of a wave. So we'll see. Africato Sul claiming first place from Dreamer 1609. Let's go ahead and check out first place up here. First place, it's been like the 2007 college football season here in the United States. Number 1 and number 2 keep getting dethroned constantly. People are flying up and down the rankings here. And of all the people today racing, I'm pretty sure Only Johnny's Bananas might get that, and that's because, if my memory serves me, Johnny's Bananas is my old buddy Carlos Herrera from Abilene High School. Go Eagles! Where the Eagles, Lady Eagles softball team and baseball team have both advanced to the third round of the playoffs in the Texas High School Class 5A playoffs. So that's where things sit back home in lovely Abilene, the prettiest town you've ever seen. Women there won't treat you mean, as the song says. Pedro Parenza overtakes Eufapio, moves into ninth. Now we are seeing the pack pretty spread out. We have racers active in every sector at this point. Question, I think, is at this point, is Africado Sul going to get an opportunity to perhaps lap Joni Happy? I don't think that's going to happen for another couple of laps, if it does happen at all. Joni Happy still has a pretty good gap between himself and Africado Sul. But we do see Africado Sul and the other top racers right now, Dreamer 1609 and Eska 0606, pushing through here, maybe gaining a little bit of ground. It's hard to tell because, of course, fastest lap now goes to Lucas Sick with a 1:23.299, despite being in 7th place. So 1:22.783, the time to beat today on the fastest lap, as we are on lap 20 out of 53. So approaching the midway point in the race here. 7 laps to go until that point. We are seeing some action there. Closer to the 8th and 9th spots. Let's check that out right now. Some of the tighter intervals here as we check out Pedro Proenza once again using those soft tires on lap 2 with those soft tires, flying through the early portions of Sector 2, heading towards Sector 3, the mid portions of Sector 2. We see Pedro overtake Sergio, jumping into 8th place. Up top, we do see Eska 0606 overtaking Dreamer 1609. Eska now just moments behind Africado Sul, just under a half second, or about a half second behind. Fastest lap now, Pedro Proenza with a 1:22.584. So Pedro reclaiming the fastest lap time despite being in 8th place. Again, those soft tires, I suspect, helping him set that time. We haven't exactly settled into a stasis, but it is tight here between Lucas Sick and CWB Mareshi. Mareshi falling behind a little bit as we check out the first-person view. Africado Sul falling behind Eska 0606. Eska 0606, 15 laps into those medium tires, now claiming first place. Watching first-person view here from Africado Sul, right behind Eska 0606, right in his tailpipe. Having to shift down, cannot overtake in that straightaway in the backside of Sector 3 as they head towards the finish line, which will inaugurate lap 22. And we are on lap 22. We just did see Pedro Proenza overtake Mareshi, moving from 8th to 7th place. Overtaking now is Africado Sul on the right-hand side in the straightaway, just in time to get through the turn. Give himself a little bit of breathing room, perhaps. Pedro Proenza and Mareshi overtaking Joni's Bananas, down in 6th and 7th position now. Sergio overtakes Joni's Bananas as well. Johnny's Bananas now in 9th, Sergio 8th. Well, we can see now at this point, People's Tires really being used here. Eska 0606, 16 laps in on medium tires. Africado Sul, same number of laps in, but on hard tires. They pitted early on the 6th lap. Dreamer 1609, 21 laps in with medium tires. Same for Soldier One Assault. Lucas Sick 5 laps in with medium tires. Pedro Provenza 4 laps with soft tires, slowly working his way back up the rankings here, hoping that his ability to handle better with soft tires. Now we do see Africado Soul overtaking on the left-hand side of Eska 0606. Safety car is out. We do have the safety car out again. And we've got a lot of flags going on here as Soldier One Assault pits, falling to 6th from 4th. Moreshi also pitting in 7th place. We've got penalty flags out on Africado Soul, on Sergio Lucas, on Johnny's Bananas. It looks like, Yestim Takifaini did not finish. So Yestim today, not able to finish. Not sure what's the cause of that is, but I would be willing to bet that's probably why we have the safety car out. He was 16 laps in on soft tires. So we'll see what happened there, perhaps later, if we're able to take a look into the race director as things wrap up today. But we are on that 23 out of 50 lead as Johnny's Bananas overtakes Eufapio from 10th to 11th to 10th place, excuse me. RK44's Orange Crush moving ahead of Moreshi from 8th to 7th place. Moreshi, however, not surrendering that position easily, battling and overtakes once again. So RK44 still in 8th place. Both of these competitors using comparatively fresh tires. Moreshi on his first lap with medium tires. RK44 6 laps in, but with hard tires. Highest number of laps completed thus far with a single set of tires is Dreamer 1609, but he's pitting. The top 3 racers are all pitting at the same time. 18 laps, 23 laps, hard, medium for Africado Soul, Eska, and Dreamer. Lucas Sick now in first place, 7 laps with medium tires. Pedro pitting again, switches to, not pitting again, I apologize. Africado Soul switching to medium tires. Eska now with hard tires. Dreamer hard tires. Soldier One Assault also running hard tires, but of course already in the race. So we still have the safety car out, but we've got a lot of hard and medium tires up top. Pedro Provenza still running those soft tires, and it looks like my instincts might have been correct. Pedro now just a half second behind Lucas Sick. Of course, the safety car is out, so not exactly high octane drive-through penalty, speeding under the safety car for Soldier One Assault. So we do see here that perhaps my theory was correct. Pedro Provenza just a half second behind Lucas Sick, who is of course constrained by the safety car. But we do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 penalty flags out right now. Eska 0606, Dreamer 1609, RK44, Tahariel, and of course Lucas Sick and Pedro Provenza, the only people not penalized. Joni Happy penalized. Eufapio, Johnny's Bananas, Sergio, Moreshi, Soldier One Assault, Africado Soul, all penalized at the moment. So a wild day on the track here. We've only had 1 DNF, but that's an unfortunate turn of events. Folks, not much to talk about here. Safety car still out here on lap 25 as we are nearing about the halfway point of this race. The pack has compressed considerably behind the safety car, as you'd expect. Joni Happy and Tahariel working to catch up to the rest of the pack, as is Eufapio. Safety car still out. But up atop, Lucas Sick, who's been battling for that first place position all day. Pedro Proenza, second place. Africado Sul, third. Esca 0606, fourth. Dreamer, 1609, fifth. Soldierman Assault, sixth. Moreshi, seventh. RK44, eighth. RK44, seventh, just passing Moreshi now. Sergio Lucas, ninth. Johnny's Bananas, 10th. Eufapio, 11th. Joni Happy, 12th. Tahariel, 13th. Safety car is still out as we are working through lap 26, moving through sector 2 at the front of the pack. Still very much anybody's race here who's still in it. Not massive gaps anywhere save for 11th to 12th place, about 11.86 or 11.1. I stand corrected. Joni Happy now flooring it, quickly closing this gap. You saw, I was about to say 11 seconds down to 6.6 second gap, 5.6 second gap. So I would highly expect this, once this safety car is gone, I would expect this to be anybody's race, and I would expect a lot of position changes as we have seen and continue to see today. Safety car is out, and here we go. Lucas Sick still in first, Pedro Proenza second, Africado Sul third, Esca 0606 fourth, Dreamer in fifth, Soldier 1 sixth, RK44 seventh, Moreshi 8th, Sergio 1906 ninth, appropriately enough. Moving up to 8th, passing Moreshi, Johnny's Bananas 10th, Eufapio 11th, Joni Happy 12th, Tahariel 13th. As we head into Sector 2, pack starting to spread out a little bit, but still very tight overall, only about a 1 second difference between any given racer. We'll see where the main action tends to be here, because we are watching Pedro Proenza and Lucas Sick here. Pedro putting in the overtake, attempting to gain on Lucas Sick, but not quite able to do it. Moving into Lucas's left side. Nope, not enough time there to make the move. Slashes through. Johnny's Bananas moving past, Johnny's Bananas, moves past Moreshi into 9th place from 10th. Pedro Proenza looking to make another move on that right-hand side. Is he going to have enough time? No, he's not. Has the gear down to avoid colliding with Lucas Sick. So here we go. Here's the straightaway right before the finish line. Reverses, makes a move on the left. We see a slight tap, a collision, but no warning, no flags. So Pedro Proenza moving into first place again, just past Lucas Sick. But Lucas not surrendering easily. Cuts it back off in on the right-hand side, and okay, another couple of bumping there. Another couple of bumps, I should say. Lucas 6 still in first place, doggedly holding on to that, refusing to give Pedro Parinza any room here. Pedro making another move on the left-hand side as they head into Sector 2. And here we go. Lucas Sick passes Parinza on the right. So a real battle here, a war for first place going on between Lucas and Pedro. Of course, the more these racers are having to focus on each other, the closer that lets the rest of the pack sneak up. Apricado Azul just 0.7 seconds behind. We do have a 3-second time penalty on Sergio for multiple warnings now. Sergio currently in 7th place. When we see Pedro Parinza chasing Lucas. Lucas, of course, driving, no, that's not, is that the Gender Reveal Special? I know Soldier One Assault always drives the Gender Reveal Special, but, yeah, another Gender Reveal Special. That's Lucas' 6 car. So Lucas only about 0.1 seconds ahead of Pedro. Pedro right on his tail. DRS enabled, here we go. Lap 29 kicks off as the majority of the pack now slashes through the finish line heading into Sector 1. Pedro overtaking on the right-hand side, the inside of the turn, not leaving Lucas any room to maneuver. Canny move there by Pedro Proenza, the veteran. Pedro trying to open up a lead about a half a second ahead of Lucas. Lucas himself got about a half a second lead, slightly longer over Apricado Sul. Safety car is out once again, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 29, the safety car is out once again. Oh my goodness gracious, I just realized I was muted on my microphone. I hope that was not for too long. But we did just see Pedro Proenza pit, dropping all the way down to 10th place. Lucas Sick now in control in first place, 1.0 seconds ahead of Apricado Sul. Apricado Sul closing that gap though down to about a half second. So we do see Pedro Proenza now on medium tires, the freshest set of tires on the track right now, 0 laps in. Most others in the neighborhood of 7 laps or so, 8 laps. Exceptions to that being folks like Apricado Sul with medium tires, 6 laps in. Eska 0606 and Dreamer each on hard tires, 6 laps in. RK44 in the Orange Crush, 13 laps in on hard tires. We've got 23 laps left here today. Just a hair over halfway done. Tahariel passing Pedro on his warmed up 7-lap medium tires. see the pack compressing behind the safety car. This is the third time or fourth time, I think, we've seen the safety car today. So despite my earlier predictions of a relatively clean race with not too many issues, it would appear that the long straightaways, contrary to my earlier assumption, have actually encouraged jostling as people make more attempts to overtake that they normally wouldn't when it comes to more chicanery type tracks, that is tracks with chicanes, not cheating, with more hairpin turns. Safety car is still out as we make our way into Sector 2. Safety car is going to be in this lap as lap 31 according to the race control. We do see Africato Sul pressuring Lucas Sick up on the left-hand side, but of course, safety car is out, so you can't do too much right now. Racers waggling out of either boredom or an attempt to keep their tires warm as we head into the straightaway at the back end of Sector 3. Mareshi looks like he might get passed by the safety car, actually. That's a kind of an unusual situation going on here. Go, safety car out currently. We do see Soldier with Assault move ahead of CWB Mareshi, however. So again, this has been kind of a wild day as far as the standings go. Everybody flying up and down. Some people in first place, some people in last place, but nobody really settling into a defined slot in the standings. So a very dynamic race today. Pedro Brunitz, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Again, Pedro currently in ninth, 2 laps in on his medium tires. Lucas Sick, 15 laps in on his medium tires with just 21 laps to go. So I would expect that at some point Lucas is going to have to pit. The question is, can he build up enough of a lead to ensure that he does not fall down the standings? Pedro Brunitz jumping Johnny's Bananas and Joni Happy. Joni Happy falling further to Johnny's Bananas. Johnny's Bananas overtaking Pedro Brunitz now. So we're seeing some movement here in the middle of the pack as we see Pedro Brunitz battling back on the right-hand side, trying to overtake Johnny's Bananas, and does so. Johnny's Bananas, of course, for Team Alfa Romeo Kick or whatever it is, with the Italian tail fin. I think I'll just call that the Mario Brothers car. Let's go. We do see some action here. Third, fourth place. RK44 in the Orange Crush overtaking Eska 0606. Eska trying to hold on to his position here. Fifth place, looking to get back up in the fourth. And third, RK44 Dreamer, however, 9 laps in and 16 laps in. Dreamer with 9 laps and RK44 16 laps in on hard tires. So they won't need to pit for another while yet. I think they're probably going to ride those tires for another couple of laps, then shift down to mediums, possibly even soft tires if they think they can get away with it and make a sprint for the finish. Lucas 16 laps in on his medium tires, and he's got maybe a little more wear and tear to go on those because the safety car has been out so often. Race control DRS enabled, and here we go. So double digits now on the tires for everyone up top. Lucas 6, 17 laps in on mediums. Apricado, 10 laps on mediums. Dreamer, 10 laps on hard. Johnny's Bananas, Eufapio overtaking. We got a battle going on here in 8th place, folks. Same with CWB Mareshi overtaking Joni Happy here. And flying past Joni Happy, actually. Joni struggles to get around the turn and kind of goes into the infield for a moment. So everybody up through 6th place, Sergio 1906 Lucas. As here we see an overtake from Pedro Florenza over Lucas. So all racers from 1st place through 9th place have at least 10 laps in on their current set of tires, with the exception of Pedro Florenza, who just set the fastest lap of 1:22.378 today, despite being in 6th place. Moving up to 5th now, passing Eska 0606 on the right-hand side as we fly through the straightaway at the beginning of Sector 1. Tahario overtakes Eufapio, moving into 11th place. As Eufapio and Johnny's Bananas now choosing the pit, going for 13 laps on mediums tires each. Eufapio goes soft tires here. Let's see what Johnny's Bananas switches to. Shifting to medium again, so swapping out for the same level of tires as Johnny's Bananas. Overtaking for Pedro Florenza. Not really seeing an opportunity here thus far. Peeking, trying to see if he can find an angle on Dreamer, but he's not finding it. Eska 0606, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Pedro jumps left of Dreamer, looking now to overtake Dreamer. Pushing, just nosing past, losing 3rd place ahead of Dreamer. Dreamer now drops back to 4th. Apricado School and Lucas 6 still up front. Lucas, maybe the person who's held on to 1st place the longest today, but he is pitting now, putting Apricado School in 1st. 12 laps in. Pedro Florenza 2nd, Dreamer 3rd, RK44 in 4th place, appropriately enough. Eska 0606 5th. Pedro Florenza still in 2nd here, but Lucas 6 now dropping all the way to 8th. 9th place, switching to soft tires, maybe hoping to grind out the last couple of laps of this race here. We are on lap 36 out of 53, which means we have 53 laps, 36, we have 17 laps left. That might be stretching soft tires a little bit, but if he can pull it off, he might be in a good position, especially given where the rest of the field is with their tire changes. Drops back to 11th now, along with Eufapio in 12th, both of them shifting to soft tires recently. Johnny's Bananas still on his initial lap with his medium tires. Apricado Sewell opening up a 1-second lead over Pedro Florenza in 2nd. Lucas 6 overtakes Tahario now, moving into 10th. So, the middle of the pack here, lots of double-digit lap numbers on medium and hard tires. Lucas 6, as a matter of fact, one of 2 active racers here. We have a caution lap, and the safety car's out again. Lucas 6, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. RK44 disaster does not finish. I don't know what happened here. But he's not on the course. I assume a disconnect or something else disastrous just happened, because I'm not seeing a DNF. Eska 0606, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So RK44's Orange Crush, 19 laps in on hard tires, looking like he will not finish today, as the safety car is out once again. Mareshi overtaking Soldier with Assault. Flying now up to 4th place is Mareshi. That's because Apricado Sewell, Eska, and Soldier with Assault pitting. So Mareshi here, 4th place. Ideal time for a lot of these racers to pit with the safety car out. Lap 37 out of 53. 16 laps left here to go. So, oh my goodness. Everybody in the field, say Dreamer, Tahario, Eufapio, Soldier 1, has a penalty flag out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 penalty flags right now. My word. A wild day here in Monza. RK44 has left the session, so RK is not going to finish today. Same with Yestin Takifaini. So 2 racers DNFing today. I'm not sure what caused RK to not finish. Maybe a collision or some sort of terminal damage, but we will see. Safety car still out. Pedro Perenza currently in first, followed by Dreamer, Sergio, Mareshi, Joni Happy, Apricado Sul, Lucas Sick, 7th. Eska overtaking Lucas Sick. And Lucas fighting back. Quite quickly reclaims 7th place. Safety car still out as we head into lap 38 here. Safety car again still out, lap 38 as we head into sector 2. Once again, the pack compressing. We've seen a very dynamic race today. Lots of racers shifting positions, lots of racers jockeying. We've seen first place swap between multiple competitors. So a very competitive race today. A lot of fun to call, a lot of fun to watch, and I'm sure hopefully a lot of fun to race in, we can hope. All right, so we'll go ahead and check out the front of the pack again. Pedro Perenza 8 laps in on medium tires. Dreamer 14 laps in on hard. Sergio 15 medium. Mareshi 12 medium. Joni Happy 12 medium. Africado Sul 1 on soft. Lucas Sick 2 on soft. So Africado Sul and Lucas Sick apparently with the same mindset, battling here, back and forth for 6th position in a real dogfight here. We are seeing some movement in the middle of the pack. Joni Happy overtaking Apricado Sul. Mareshi, disaster. Also not going to finish, it looks like. So Mareshi had some sort of issue causing him to drop. It looks like we have 3 DNFs today, or 3 issues. Mareshi and Arcade44 not currently active in the session. Tahari transferred as well. Caution flag out in sector 2 as we are on lap 39 out of 53. So a wild day here. Fastest lap, Pedro Perenza with a 1:21.886 in first place on 10 laps with his medium tires. Perhaps not a huge surprise, but it is something to keep in mind. DRS enabled. Here we go. Pedro Proenza 3. Lucas Sig now at the fastest lap. 1:21.611 despite being in 4th place. So Lucas Sig putting those soft tires to good use. Plenty warm at this point. They should be 5 laps in on him. So just 12 laps left here in Monza. Pedro Proenza trying to open up a little bit of a lead as the other racers, Dreamer 1609, Africado Sul, stuck in the chicanes, trying to put himself in a position where the other racers can't even see him, gaining a psychological edge, baby, by getting as far down the track as he can before they can catch sight of him. Because right now, Dreamer 1609, as we check out Dreamer 1609's first-person view, Pedro Proenza not even in view despite being only 4.5 seconds ahead. Pedro Proenza, I believe, now currently with the largest lead of the day for first place at 4.6 seconds. Dreamer, of course, trailed by Africado Sul, about 2 seconds behind. Of course, it feels so deceptive to see from the first-person view how far back things appear, given that the speeds in this sport are so tremendous. So again, we have 3 people not finishing today: Mareshi, RK44, and Yestim Takifaini. Yestim, however, according to my dashboard, the only one being scored with a DNF. A little bit to my surprise. Race relatively static right now. Dreamer about 5.3 seconds behind Pedro Proenza. Africado Sul still right tight behind Dreamer. We have just 11 laps left to go. Ten laps left to go here in the race. We still see Pedro Proenza up in first. Dreamer 6.2 seconds behind. Africado Sul a half second behind him. Lucas Sick in fourth. Using those soft tires, about 2.8 seconds behind Africado Sul. Tell you what, these long races, a little bit of a grind. Of course, these laps going by relatively quickly. We're seeing each lap only take about 1:20. And that means 3 laps take close to about 6 minutes of time here. Did I say that right? No, 4 minutes of time, excuse me, not 6 minutes. That felt completely wrong. 4 minutes of time. So, yeah, it looks like my predictions of hour and a half-ish race were relatively close. I'm going to be slightly off. We are on lap 44 out of 53. Dreamer overtakes Africado Sul on his hard tires, 20 laps in. So can he have his hard tires last another 9 laps? I don't know how well the game renders any damage to those tires, but they don't look like they're damaged in any way, shape, or form. So Dreamer gambling here now that he's going to have enough wear and tear left to go in those tires. If he can get through another 9 laps, he might find an opportunity to sneak up behind Pedro Proenza and snipe a lead. Pedro, however, 6.7 seconds ahead, so not going to make it easy on Dreamer to do that. Meanwhile, Apricot Sul on those soft tires, still threatening. Makes a move on the right-hand side, overtakes, smooth sailing. A smooth operator, Apricot Sul, flies past him. We do have, we have another DNF today. Johnny's Bananas DNFing. Not sure what happened there, but we've got the safety car out once again on lap 44 out of 53. So I'm unsure what caused Johnny's Bananas to DNF today. They've been performing well, had been seen mostly in the middle of the pack, maybe sniffing the top 4 or 5 positions, as we see Joni Happy skitter into the gravel there briefly. Eska 0606 also apparently disconnecting, not going to finish the race today. But the only 2 definitive DNFs we have are Yestin Takifaini and Johnny's Bananas, 35. So the racers now down to 9 racers, all AI or DNFs off the board at 10th place or worse. So it's now a race here with Dreamer 1609 pitting, Apricot Sul pitting, Eufapio 16 seconds behind second place Lucas, who is 4 seconds behind Pedro Proenza. Lucas trying to get in there. Of course, the safety car being out, so we'll see the pack collapse once again and coalesce around the leader as we head into the last 8 laps of this race. As I suspected, Eska 0606 has left the session, so looks like we will not be watching those racers finish today. Lap 46 as we begin, the safety car is still out, so it looks like safety car is going to be in for another lap here. Meaning that we're going to see lap 47 kick off, I believe, before we get to see the racers really do it. And this means most of the racers have at this point shifted to soft tires. Joni Happy, Tahario, the only racers, along with Pedro Proenza, the only racers still on medium tires. So with the safety car being out, is that going to give these racers an opportunity to overtake? Apricot Sul, Dreamer, Sergio, all on one lap with their soft tires. So is Soldier One Assault in 9th. Pedro, those tires are mediums that he's currently on. Maybe going to be feeling the strain here. Maybe not, of course. We've had the safety car come out a couple of times in the last few laps. So we will see if Pedro's medium tires are able to hold up. We'll see if Joni Happy's and Tahario's are able to hold up as well. Of course, they've got 4 and 7 more laps on their medium tires, so they could be in a dangerous position here, sitting at 7th and 8th out of 9 active racers. But I'm very curious to see here how Apricot Sul, Dreamer, and Sergio form here at the end of this race. Yes, safety car still in this lap. And there we go, the safety car flying off down the raceway as we head into the straightaway in Sector 3. You can see here, first person view, Pedro Proenza winding his way across the track, trying to warm his tires back up. Get some steering and control back that he might have lost from having a couple of laps there with the safety car in position. As the safety car crosses the first place, crosses the finish line and swings into the pit lane. We are back at it. 6 laps left to go as we start lap 47. Pedro Proenza in first, 17 laps on his medium tires. In second, Lucas Sick, 19, 11 laps on softs. Eufapio, 12 laps on softs. Lucas Sick battling for first position. Oh! My goodness gracious, I think that might have just been the game rendering kind of weird, but it looked like one of the racers there, I think it might have been Lucas Sick, rode over the top of Pedro Proenza, and I'm not sure the physics engine really knew what to do with that, so we did have a penalty flag out for that, but no caution flags, so the safety car not going to be out for this lap. Excuse me. Lucas Sick, 11 laps in, 0.6 seconds behind Pedro Proenza. We're going to keep it up here at the front of the pack because the pack is so compact. Pedro Proenza holding on to this lead. Can his tires last another 6 laps? If they do, they will have been there for almost half the race. Medium tires, they will be there 17 laps on them currently. If he rides them all the way to the end, and I don't know that he has a choice, he's going to have 23 laps on medium tires. Tahariel and Joni Happy in a similar position, but they're in 8th and 9th at 24 laps and 21 laps respectively. Looks like a classic bell curve here with a very short tail on both ends. Lucas Sick, 12 laps in on soft tires. Africano Sewell, 3 laps. Dreamer, 3 laps. Eufabio, 13 laps, but he just got passed by Lucas Sergio, who's 3 laps in. Sergio now in 5th place, trying to keep Eufabio from reclaiming 5th place. Eufabio swinging wide on the turn here in Sector 1. So Sergio gets a little bit of breathing room, but who does not have any breathing room is Lucas Sick, Africano Sewell, tailing him by thousandths of a second, I should say. It makes a move on the right-hand side of Lucas to overtake. Lucas now trying to stay with him, but Africano Sewell turning nicely here in Sector 2, trailing Pedro Proenza by just 0.75 seconds. So looking to desperately try to close that gap. We are on lap 48 out of 53. 5 laps left here to go in this race here in Monza. Pedro Proenza, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. That could be critical here. That could be critical. Depending on how things do shake out, that another 3-second time penalty. Of course, most people now with penalty flags, including Africano Sewell, maybe not DRS enabled, baby. Here we go. As we fly through Sector 1, lap 49 underway now. Dreamer overtakes Lucas. Lucas looked like on the right-hand side of Lucas, if I was reading that correctly. Lucas looking for an opportunity right now on Dreamer's left, but not finding one. Falls back slightly. Trying to drift, maybe. Here we go, we're watching from the first person's perspective of Dreamer. We've got the helmet cam going on, the race pod, as it were. Chasing, got the overtake in, Dreamer does, trying to catch up to Africano Sewell and Pedro Proenza. Dreamer, relatively fresh set of tires, 4 laps on softs. So, a disastrous mistake by Pedro. Pedro swings wide in the middle of Sector 2, dropping now to 4th place. He swung into the infield. This is anybody's race right now. Lucas Sick, 19 at 3rd place, trailing Dreamer 1609 and Africano Sewell. Just 0.3 of a second separating each of those competitors. Dreamer trying to make a move, slowly closing it up, looking for an opportunity right-hand side. Won't get it before they head into the turn, end of Sector 3. Here we go, lap 50 coming up. Just 3 laps left. Like I said, anybody's race right now. Top 5 slots, less than half a second behind, as we see Dreamer overtake Africano Sewell right-hand side. Very tight pack here, very tight. Oh no, disaster there. I think it was Pedro and Lucas colliding. I think Lucas might have gotten ridden up on by Pedro. Pedro kind of got in underneath and put him off the ground a little bit, if I saw that correctly. Dreamer out in front, just a half second ahead of Africano. So just 9 racers left here in this surprisingly dynamic day here at Monza. Lap 50 out of 53. Just 3 more laps left to go, so only about 5 minutes remaining in the race, if that. Probably closer to 4 minutes. All right, we start to see the pack, well, I was about to say stretch out a little bit, but not really. Pedro Prince just 1.2 seconds behind Apricado Sul here. You can see in the distance. But that's not accounting for much when you consider the speed of these vehicles. So Dreamer here with a very good performance today. I believe it might be the first time I've seen Dreamer race, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't remember Dreamer's name, Mareshi, or RK44 before. But a fine performance here. Apricado Sul, however, overtakes left-hand side undertaking. Now manages to slip in the first place, so I apologize. I feel like I just drinks to Dreamer, rather. But Dreamer determined to let a first place finish not be a dream. Just 0.2 seconds behind Apricado Sul, looking to make a move, testing that left-hand side of Apricado Sul, not finding much to work with there as they come out of the chicanes into Sector 2. Now about a half second back is Dreamer from Apricado Sul. Not finding much luck making up times in the curves here. As a matter of fact, Apricado able to open up slightly wider gains each time they go into the turns, but Dreamer making a move. Dreamer sitting in about 5th gear, 0.4 seconds behind. Soldier with Assault overtakes Sergio, moving into 5th place. Here we are, the straightaway in Section 3. Up to 8th gear is Dreamer. Not going to be able to get in close enough to overtake, though. However, takes a nice line, it looks like, coming into the final straightaway. Pedro Prudenza, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Pedro currently in 3rd, 22 laps in on his medium. Here comes the overtake. Dreamer, right-hand side of Apricado Sul, passes clean as a whistle on that straightaway after the finish line in Sector 1. Looking now to keep his first place position for one more lap. Can he do it? Will Dreamer be able to fulfill the dream of a first place finish? 0.6 seconds ahead of Apricado Sul, looking to make it happen. Shift us back to the broadcast view here. Apricado half a second behind. Dreamer, a real battle for first place. Both racers pitted at the same time. 7 laps in on their soft tires. They're not going to pit again, and they don't need to. Why should they? With 1 lap left, they'd have to be insane to try to pit at this point. So I just saw this here. Sergio Lucas, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Carlos Herrera, of course, Johnny's Bananas wrote, crashed out in YouTube. He writes this comment, crashed out. My dog almost took a dump in the house, so I took him out. Good news is he didn't do it in the house. Thumbs up emoji, champagne emoji, that's my win. Bad news, did not finish this race. Good job commentating, Sterling. Thank you very much. And here we go. Here's where the big dogs come out to play. Apricado Sul overtakes left-hand side. 0.1 seconds behind is Dreamer. We've got a nails tough race for first place here in the final lap. This is it. Adriano says, go Dreamer 1609. You need to win this race. Well, Dreamer has a very good chance to do so. Not out of it by any means. 0.1 seconds behind. Looking for opportunities, testing that left-hand side of Apricado again and again, seeing if he can find some way to get ahead. Of course, behind him by about 2.5 seconds, Pedro Proenza riding those medium tires into the dirt. 23 laps in on those medium tires. Maybe a little bit of a tactical error not pinning earlier when he had the chance. But 8 laps in each on soft tires, Apricado Sul, Pedro Proenza heading into the straightaway in Sector 3. Here's where, if Apricado Sul is going to win it, he's going to have to keep Dreamer off his back. Dreamer already in 8th gear, 326, 329 kilometers per hour. Can he do it? Will Apricado be able to hold the lead? And it looks like he will be able to. Dreamer's not going to be able to quite get there in time. Just finishing barely behind Apricado Sul. Oh my goodness gracious, 2.5 seconds behind. Lucas Sick flies up into 3rd with a photo finish, getting ahead of Pedro Proenza, who drops to 5th. So that'll do it for today. Eufebio passes Sergio Lucas. So our finals today, Dreamer 1609 in first, I guess, after the time penalties are figured out. Apricado Sul 2nd, Lucas Sick third. Fourth, Soldier One Assault in the Gender Reveal Special, Pedro Proenza. Fifth, Eufabio. Sixth. Seventh, Sergio. Eighth, Joni Happy. Ninth, Dahariel. Wow, what a day. What a dynamic race. What a fun race to call, especially the last couple of laps there. Wow. Great race today here by the racers of the Brazuka F1 E-Racing League. Today's driver of the day is Joni Happy 94. So we'll have the points totals for you here in just a second. We'll go ahead and skip the cutscene so we have more time to talk here. Dreamer 1609 for Team Alfa Romeo Kick, starting from 5th place with just 2 pits, 25 points today. Wonderful result for Dreamer. Total time 84:03.991. Doesn't look like there are any time penalties. So 0.25 seconds behind was Africado Sul with a 3-second time penalty. Fastest lap of the day, however, goes to Lucas Sick 19 in third with a 1:21.611. He'll finish with 16 points on the day. Soldier One Assault 10 seconds behind with 12 points. Pedro Proenza 5th place, 10 points. Eufabio 6th place with 8 points. 7th place Sergio Lucas with 6th place, 6 points. Joni Happy, his fellow Portuguese comrade, 4 points. Dahariel 2 points. Eska 0606 1 point despite not finishing today. Johnny's Bananas Mareshi, RK44, Yestim Takifaini closing out the rest of the field. Of course, Yestim, RK, Mareshi, Johnny's Bananas, and Eska 0606 DNFing today, but a fantastic race. Wonderful race here. Dreamer 1609 coming through as today's winner. Thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. My name is Sterling C. Beard. This has been a broadcast of the Brazuka F1 E-Racing League. It has been my